Sony is in damage control mode after it was revealed that they've been flagging videos and sites for simply talking about No Man's Sky and recent news that could be seen as negative and turn some people off from the game. And yes, I said for simply talking about the game. I'm not talking about showing leaked gameplay footage or anything like that. Simply for opening your mouth and daring to speak words. So, to give you a little bit of a backstory, most of you have probably heard a lot of this, that No Man's Sky was actually leaked last week, and so several people have had their hands on the game. They've been posting up comments, they've been posting up live stream videos, even posting videos to YouPorn after it had been flagged on Twitch and YouTube. And so, some of the people ran into issues with the game and they were posting about it. There was one viral post on Reddit that got a lot of attention. The guy was talking about having played the game, that it was super buggy, it was crashing a lot on the PlayStation 4, there was really bad pop-in, unbalanced gameplay, reaching the center of the galaxy in like 30 hours when the devs stated that it should take hundreds of hours, complaints of really barren planets that look nothing like the trailers that we've been shown, that honestly really shouldn't be that big of a surprise if you've actually been paying attention, because the devs actually stated that for the trailers, for their copies that they've been showing off at different outlets, they actually created the worlds for those to pretty much market it to you, to sell you on the idea, but that a lot of planets aren't going to look exactly like the planets that you've seen in some of the trailers. And so Sony and No Man's Sky devs took to Twitter to tell everybody, you know what? Ignore all these posts. Don't pay any attention to anybody who's, writing about this, who's posting up reviews or anything else like this. Just go buy the game because we've been working really hard on it, and try it for yourself. And so they say that even though the game went gold weeks ago, which usually means that it's a gold master of the game, which they consider ready to ship and is complete, they say that there's a day one patch that's going to change a lot of things. So I guess it's kind of going gold twice now. And they say that as long as you're able to connect to the internet and download the patch, that this is going to be a game changer. Sony also revealed that review copies weren't going to be sent out until the day one patch had arrived. And so the day one patch isn't coming out till a few hours before the game actually releases. So I guess it's their way of being able to say, hey, no, we're sending out review copies, but we're not going to give you really enough time to thoroughly review it for everybody else before the release date. So this news leaked. It's been out there. And I mean, once something leaks like this, there's no real way of putting it back in the bag. And I mean, maybe the game drastically changes because of this patch. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, you really can't go after the people who have legitimately purchased their game and who just simply posted their opinions online. It wasn't like they had signed an NDA or anything. So news sites and YouTubers did what they always do, what their job is to do, which is to take this information and report it. And Sony didn't like it. And so what they started doing was directly targeting these sites and YouTube channels. One of the biggest channels that received a copyright strike was The Know, which has close to 1 million followers. They did a video actually following up on this copyright strike, calling Sony out for censorship and abuse of power, because this was not what the copyright strike system was created for. It was created for people who are posting, movies or music, things like that. It's not meant for people who are simply voicing their opinions or giving you the news. And some videos get flagged on YouTube and it's simply the owner just wanting money from that video. So the video still stays live, people can go watch it. It's just that they're trying to get in on the revenue stream. But that's not what Sony was doing. Sony was using the copyright strike, which means the video is taken down and it could actually jeopardize your entire channel, because if you get 3 strikes on your channel, it's annihilated. Other YouTubers were also hit. There's actually been a lot of YouTubers coming out saying that they had copyright strikes from Sony. One guy was a huge fan of both Sony and of No Man's Sky. He was basically doing a video in tears after he got the copyright strike. He had made a video talking about the leak, but he was also talking about doing a 24-hour live stream in No Man's Sky for charity for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Sony didn't give a damn about charity or anything else. They didn't want that negative publicity, so they hit that video, taking it down. So anyway, this story went viral. I mean, some of these strikes happened several days ago, but just now, since the strikes are becoming viral, now Sony is finally reacting to it and finally trying to do some damage control, removing some of these strikes. Now, whenever I posted up this story earlier today, I got accused of, being part of some kind of conspiracy theory, like this wasn't even true or anything, even though there's plenty of different media outlets covering this. You can go find it on Polygon, Game Informer, and so forth. But a lot of people were saying this has got to be YouTube's fault. This isn't Sony's fault. Don't be blaming Sony for all this. But those arguments hold up about as well as arguments for, Hillary for president or whatever. I mean, those arguments don't hold up very well at all either. So for starters, yeah, this is Sony's fault. These were manual strikes placed on these videos. These were not automated through the YouTube system, so you cannot blame YouTube on this one. There were tons of videos that were using the same exact gameplay footage that weren't flagged. There were tons of videos talking positively about No Man's Sky that weren't flagged. Only videos talking about these leaks, talking about the negative reaction to some of the gameplay, only those videos were targeted. And those videos, by the way, were not linking to leaked footage. They didn't have leaked footage in them, so you can't say that it was gameplay or anything else. There's really no way around it to give Sony a free pass on this one. They were targeting people who were talking about stories that they didn't want being talked about. So some people were asking me on Twitter, why would Sony do this? They have no role in this game whatsoever. But in fact, they actually do have a pretty big role in this game. They've actually been helping in some parts to get this game finished and completed. They said months ago that they were going to market this game like a AAA title. That's why you see a AAA price tag on it. And yes, Sony is in charge of both the marketing and the publishing for this game on the PlayStation 4. So yes, their hands are dirty in this. And no doubt, Sony doesn't want negative publicity for this game that they've been hyping up for years, a mere days before the launch of the game. But you would think that if they're really sure about the title, none of this crap would really matter. You're simply making this story bigger. I wouldn't even be talking about No Man's Sky if it wasn't for this right here. So this is really shady, and yes, it is clearly an abuse of power. So hopefully Sony learns their lesson and they don't try to pull this crap anymore with games in the future. And again, since this story went viral, Sony has started removing some of these strikes, and No Man's Sky devs were claiming that this is simply an accident. But of course, with accidents are things that happen that you didn't intend to happen. We accidentally manually flagged several videos who just happened to be all talking about the same thing that we didn't want talked about, So sorry, we got caught, basically, is what the story is. As far as my own personal opinion about the game, I was going to pick it up on PC, but after watching several videos and live streams of gameplay, think I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Maybe there's a lot more to this game that I'm just not seeing here, but from what I watched, I saw a lot of scanning of rocks. I saw a lot of planets to go scour and see and everything else, but resource collecting games just don't really tend to hold my attention for very long. And I don't go crazy over procedurally generated games either. I don't know anybody who plays Minecraft simply because you can continue walking forever. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game is received. And honestly, I do hope that it's a good game. I hope that I hear good things and want to go pick it up on the PC, because I know that the devs have spent years working on this. They've poured their heart and soul into this, and so I definitely don't blame the devs at all for this debacle. This was clearly all on Sony. They were the ones issuing the takedowns. They're the ones that targeted a freaking charity stream video. They're the ones showing you how they're for the players. Anyway, if you want to read more, links down below. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn. Uh.